Hey guys, my name is Simpzy, how you all doing? Welcome back to some more Medieval 2 Total War Definitive Edition here today on the channel. We have episode 7 of my Holy Roman Empire series here today. We're going to be continuing on with our campaign. Now, I asked you guys in the last episode if you wanted more questions, as we've already hit our long victory conditions, and I went through the comments. I took a break for a couple of days just to go on through it, and I've made the decision to continue the campaign, thanks to your guys' support, feedback, and suggestions. Alrighty, so we're still under the reign of Emperor Heinrich. Our family tree looks pretty solid and secure as well. So although we've hit our long victory conditions, I feel like there's a lot more to experience in Medieval 2. We haven't dealt with the Mongols or the Tumurids just yet. We're still pretty early in our army roster as well for the units that we can get. I also wouldn't mind going to the New World as well. So I think to start things off here, we're going to move the capital from Frankfurt to Venice for the central of the empire, and there's still a lot more lands we can conquer and tame, let's say. I'm not going to do a full world conquest. I don't want to sign up exactly to that, because the thing is with Medieval 2, it's nearly not in your interest to hold some of the eastern border of the map, particularly in Russia and in Turkey and near Baghdad over there, because you just, especially on the harder difficulties, you just get absolutely swarmed by the Horde faction. So we're going to have to make a fort wall somewhere. So I think what we'll do here today, we'll muster the armies and we'll set an invasion course, getting everyone south to invade Iberia. I think that's where we'll go. We'll try and get Europe fully under control. We'll try and go for the Moors, move into the Nordic countries, and we might even set up a border with Russia and Turkey. We'll just say, I do want to try and take Jerusalem and go into the New World. I think that you can't actually go to the New World until 150, I believe. You might be able to tech rush it, depending on the size of the cities, because you need to build a naval dockyard, don't you? And then you get access to those unique ships that you can sail on over. So I will be continuing this campaign, so stay tuned for future episodes. Alright, so we're still currently 38 turns into the campaign. Now we're at a position, I think I might go around here and convert a bunch of these cities to towns. Like, for example, Britannia isn't going to be invaded, so it's not in our best interest, particularly all those crucial ports, to be castles. So I'm going to switch them to cities to generate even more insane amount of income that we've got going. Except for Nicaea, I want to convert to a castle. Okay, the Emperor's granddaughter has come of age, Meinberg. So we've got, obviously, Emperor Heinrich, his son Henry, and then his great son Conrad, I believe. Yeah, that's his name, he's 17, so the line is secure. We've gone to marry off the princesses to generals if we can. So I've married Otto von Kessel into our line. We've got two potential generals here, Mandorf and von Saxony. So I'm going to make the decision to marry her to Mandorf so that we can get those really good traits and obviously reward the generals for being loyal to the cause. And what I love about Medieval 2 is that you can allow your generals to inherit traits to their children. So we're going to get some really good dread and command generals in the future, hopefully. I suppose it's realistic as well, getting the most fierce and valuable generals to be married into the family line to secure their loyalty and have a vested interest in the throne. So Mandorf has been married to the Emperor's granddaughter. Unfortunately, Leopold died of the plague in 1142 AD. Yeah, that was the plague at Constantinople that the Byzantines had going. So Gouda has come of age as well. We can look to marry her into the family tree. Oh, okay. So Hans can be married off. Yeah. And unfortunately, Pope Gregory's been taken out. We've got a new pope. We're still excommunicated, but the Catholic realm is a shadow of its former self. So I will look to try and marry off these other princesses. Yeah, so Spain, Venice, Sicily, Denmark, Portugal, Poland, and Hungary. Yeah, so there's not many factions left that are Christian. Oh, no. That was a quick Pope election. Oh, no. Emperor Heinrich the Chivalrous is dead. He's no more. So who's taken the throne now? Oh, good. It's naturally gone on down. He died peacefully. Emperor Henry has taken the throne. So he's only our second faction leader. Could be a little bit more stronger on the command front. And Prince Conrad has been named the prince. And he's got a son as well. So we still need to deal with marrying off Guda, who has a secret lover, apparently. Fritz von Kessel's come of age. We could marry those two together, potentially. Dreaded father, so that's the von Kessel trait. Moving on down. We're still slowly but surely mustering for the invasion of Spain as well. Maybe von Saxony would be better. Okay, so just going through what generals are available in and around here. Another von Kessel's come of age. There's a couple of options that we can marry her to. Oh, Orwin looks really quite good. I think we'll go with von Saxony, because we want the line of von Saxony to continue. Because these guys were crucial and really fantastic commanders in the conquering and securing of Central Europe for the Empire. Okay, so I've got some armies moving down to Naples. We want to get rid of the Norman kings that lie down here. Emperor Henry, 46 years of age, really needs to stamp his authority on his new reign. So we've got Hans, and just essentially a randomly generated general who's been brought in. Sigismund, who is 24 as well. A little bit outshadowed by his older brothers. He's going to move down to Naples. We've got a bunch of Teutonic knights as well. And let's declare war upon Sicily. And start moving on south. And then we'll swing around to try and kick off the invasion against the factions and kingdoms inhabiting the Iberian Peninsula. We've got a small garrison here in Rome. Unfortunately, we don't have a commander. Public order's not the best there in the Eternal City. So we want to try and get more reinforcements down where we can. So 2 full stacks are attacking the peninsula. I've sent 2 to besiege Pamplona. Zaragoza hasn't been taken. So we have von Kessel and João inside with some dismounted feudal Portuguese knights, which are a little bit menacing. So von Kessel, obviously a loyal general to the commander. And then we've got another 3 full stacks here with von Saxony and Mandorf and a couple of others. They're going to be heading eastward to deal with Poland and Denmark. So, what? Let's say we have 7-ish, 8-ish full stacks in operation. Oh! I was going to say they're turning to continue to build that siege equipment, but the Portuguese have attacked us here. Oh wow, this is actually going to be a massive one. The Portuguese prince has brought up a sellsword army to stop the siege of Pamplona with João inside. Oh, this is going to be a massive one. This is nearly a 8,000, 10,000 man battle on the fields of Portugal. Well, against Portugal, because I guess this is Portuguese occupied land, but it's technically, what is it, Navarre?
By St. Michael, this moment is worth savoring. Our duty is now clear. We have put our faith in God. We face a foe to test our mettle. I stand before a magnificent company of Imperial soldiers. All that can be done is done, and only battle remains. Look to your arms, and prepare your souls. Cheer, servants of the Empire! Cheer and put fear in the hearts of the fish-reeking enemy. That way, they'll be less inclined to dispute our right to victory, because these Portuguese are fishermen, not soldiers. With God's good graces, we shall strike them down. With God's good graces, we shall strike down a quarter of our enemy's army today. Courage will be our watchword. Despair theirs. I see the foe dare not fight us man to man like decent Germans would do, but must rely on a woman's stratagem of throwing things at us. And at the last, look, do you want to fight? I could be raising a tankard or two, don't you know? Come on, come on! I don't want the ale to sour while we wait for you!
Okay, let's get stuck into the fight. So, not the most crazy army. The topography of this battle map is a bit mental. They are attacking me at the end of the day. But they have infantry supremacy. So we're going to have to use our archers, which are superior, which have more chevrons, and the terrain to our advantage. Because on a flat, open field, I honestly wouldn't give these spear infantry much to write home about. So the Emperor's... okay, so it's actually this first army we have to deal with, which is still quite strong, mostly made up of sellswords. Speaking of sellswords and mercenaries, we've got some of our own that were paid for and brought into the Imperial Army. We've got some Welsh and Scottish soldiers. So thankfully they're actually being funneled in on a very narrow passage here. So depending on how things go, we might actually just have to rush, crush and destroy this first army, then swing around and double back. As thankfully, due to the battle map, the Holy Roman Empire are going to be able to rally up firstly. But remember, they are attacking me, so... Are they advancing? Yes. And they do seem to be. A bunch of mercenary crossbows. Those are so good. I really can't recommend mercenaries enough in Medieval 2. The cost-based analysis for them, it's actually worth it, like so much. But here come the Portuguese. 40-50 turns now into the Let's Play. We're starting to see armies on the European continent be a lot better quality than we're used to. We're going to be fighting against dismounted feudal knights, heavily armored swordsmen. So we're going to have to revolutionize the army soon. So it looks like we're, along with the Emperor, are going to be able to engage this first army, as the garrison from Pamplona is taking a little bit of time to just get on in. The pathfinding isn't really helping them. Our mercenary crossbowmen with the high ground here are arcing their shot brilliantly to strike on in. And it probably doesn't help as well that these guys are such heavily armoured pushing up their hill. They do have some cavalry and some other spearmen. But here are the knights. So once we sort of break through the Portuguese armies and military infrastructure in and around the Pyrenees. We're going to have to probably declare war upon Spain and deal with the Moors. As Spain at this time period is in the Ricanista. It's pretty much a battle royale at the moment. All three sides fighting for power. Now, we're currently at war with Portugal because if you guys remember, technically they had Wales for a little bit. So, on our invasion of the British Isle, we had to go take them out. But so far we're doing quite well. I might actually swing around some infantry to deal with these guys coming up because these guys are a little bit like sitting ducks. So far the Emperor's doing well. A lot of Portuguese are retreating, which is fantastic. But we'll give out a charge just to speed things up as they are on the back foot. They're on the ropes here, lads. And then we'll swing around to block and funnel. Because if we allow that reinforcing army from Pamplona to gain too much ground, we're going to be in a worse position. If we can stop them halfway up that hill, we should be able to claim victory here today if we're lucky. And we might be able to shoot down upon them as well. Alright. Quickly just swinging our skirmishers and crossbowmen just to try and reduce those hit points as they come on up. Half of the army is engaging the Portuguese here. Try and take out their general. If we can get rid of him, that will cause a huge morale debuff for them. And they do seem to be shaken. Understandable when they're getting fought 2-1. They've lost 20%. We might have caught them on an uneven, a little bit of an awkward position here, let's say. And let's give out some attack orders to press that. Because we want to try and lock them in place and let our skirmishers do most of the heavy lifting and the destructions. Shot up to 25-7. We're in a really good position here now as fighting in Navarre has gone into full swing. I've always found that a little bit weird. I kind of get it that Portugal controls Pamplona in Navarre, but it kind of exposes them as well. There's always like these little weird things in Medieval 2 that I kind of... some people like, some people don't like. I do kind of like that they have a code in their faction that they want to try and invade Wales. I do try and find that quite funny. The unrealistic thing about that is because Portugal is a firm ally with England. Oh, we've taken out the Portuguese prince as well. Oh, that's huge because he was in that attacking army. Oh wow, I'm sure the Portuguese are going to fall now. João won't be able to stand here much longer, learning of the death of his fellow princeling. But yeah, I think it's the longest alliance in human history, or country history. The Portuguese and the British. They've been allies and friends for so long. Okay. So, we smashed the first army. Emperor Henry hopefully can earn the name of the conqueror of Spain. Only time will tell how fruitful his reign is. He's got a lot to aspire and arise to. As his father, Emperor Heinrich, the conqueror of the mystical lands of Britannia and Central Europe. Oh, we're doing so well here. My archers are peppering the heavy infantry. I think we caught the cavalry awkwardly as well. And that's where our spearmen who are mostly... infantry that are mostly spearmen are going to excel is against cavalry units, which I think a little bit unluckily for them were the first to encroach and approach up that damn cursed hill. But a massive battle here. But I'm not going to lie, this could have turned out differently if only the Portuguese got the RNG of a better battle map. But fighting in and around Pamplona And with the backdrop and quite literal feature in front of us of the Pyrenees in and around us, it's sort of done them in. A heroic victory as well. Oh no, look at that. 800 men lost. 4,000 of theirs decimated is the word that comes to mind. Fight to the last gasp. And we've captured the prince. He's in handcuffs at the camp. And we're going to bring out the Imperial sword, because the man who passes the sentence, well, you know the rest. He should swing it. The Emperor has taken out the Portuguese prince. Okay, so Otto's become a little bit merciless. We've taken Pamplona now. Thanks to that. We're going to siege out Zaragoza. Oh, good. I don't mind that we don't have to deal with a protracted siege. Oh, and we can get our own feudal knights from Pamplona because it's such a built-up settlement. Oh, that's going to be fantastic for launching further incursions into Spain. Back on the Italian peninsula, there isn't too much of a garrison here in Naples, thankfully, as Sigismund, the son of the former emperor, is going to go up against some dismounted Norman knights. Oh, okay. 5,000 men of the Holy Roman Empire are going to descend upon them, and the knights are going to fight for the bitter end. 200 standing against the many. I wonder if people in this timeline will remember the brave 200 Norman knights that defended the ancient city of Naples, right beneath Mount Vesuvius. That's quite cool. Alright, we're going to continue the invasion of Sicily. The faction, Sicily. We're currently fighting in southern Italy, but most of their armies and build-up would be on the island, you'd imagine. Alright, we're slowly but surely pushing further into Spanish territory. We've got Otto. We want him to try and swing and eventually declare war upon them in... is it Leon up there? I can't remember off the top of my head. And then we've got, like, Madrid or Toledo or whatever it is in central Spain specifically. Zaragoza, we're going to take and essentially open a huge supply lane from France to Spain. The Spanish attacked us in the end during the end turn phase. Those cheeky buggers. No one will expect the Spanish Inquisition in Pamplona this time around. So many notifications here. New family members. Oh, there's Avant Saxony, and then the wars kicked off as well. Right, we'll deal with all that stuff later. So, okay, that's annoying that you've come in. Well, the thing is, we're going to be able to push into their heartland. Yeah, so Leon, I think is their capital, technically. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to be too much of a garrison there. It might be a different story down here. Oh, and it is. Oh, God. Okay, we might have, Emperor Henry might have bitten off more than he could chew here. Will he stand and fight? No, because they might actually bring that garrison out. Okay, it's going to be a fierce war over here in the heart of Iberia. Okay, so unfortunately for the Spanish, King Rodrigo is actually in Leon. They thought stopping our advance at Pamplona would work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out Fritz von Kessel to try and deal with Augusto. I just got him to... It's sometimes worth, if you're going to win an auto resolve like that, just bring a bunch of cavalry so you can quickly deal with it. So von Kessel came in screaming like the Game of Thrones Dothraki. So Toledo has a bit of a build-up here. Oh, okay, so Captain Bernard, and then we've got Vasco here as well. Oh, the reinforcing actually has the better quality units. The Chivalric Knights. Cool. Oh wow, there's a fair few of them. I guess that's because of the, like, there must have been some chivalric building chain. But that's quite cool that the Spanish are going down that path. As, in comparison to us, we're going down very dreaded. Alright, so I think we need to get rid of the general as quickly as possible. Because his army's the weakest. The reinforcing from Toledo is more battle hardened. We got the better troops, but if we can get rid of the command structure, we should be in a better position.
Duty should mean obedience. I will have that obedience on this field, else my wrath will fall upon the miscreants. I would not use the whip, but I will if needs must. Your Spanish enemies are proud, perhaps too proud. In this place I mean to see them humbled and cut down to size. We'll see how these overproud Iberians like the taste of German steel. Those men are a quarter of our foe's total strength. Think on that, for when they are dead, the enemy will be massively weaker. God's wounds. I see that our foes are amply supplied with heavily armored troops. Would that we had some men with firelocks. We may feel their lack. And if you should happen to come across a lady in need of my protection, send her to my tent after the fighting. Battle gives me two things: a powerful thirst and a thrusting appetite.
Okay, looking at the topography and landscape of Toledo here, thankfully for us, we've got a little bit of coverage within the trees and forests that we can conceal our troops. We'll try and use that best to our advantage. Thankfully for them, they're out in the open field. Now looking at this army build, we have 4 units of cavalry, 3 units of crossbows, 3 bowmen, which is quite decent on the cavalry and skirmisher front. We've also got a cheeky ballista unit there as well. And then we've got some mercenary spears, 4 of those, which are fantastic. They're better than the normal 2 that we can get. But we've also got some, I think it's like galoch units or something. The Scottish mercenary ones. The 2-hand Highlander axed brawlers are going to send in against the Spanish as they look to advance. Alright, so they're moving out some Jav Cav to annoy us. If they get within striking range, I think we take them out. Which we will. I don't think they saw us coming over the arc of that hill there. Running after missile cav is a little bit fruitless if they tire and run you down, but sometimes you can get a little bit lucky, fellas. Alright. Oh, wow. They don't seem to see us there. Oh, we've lost 3%. Looks like a Spanish charge is coming on in. Some mailed knights want to have a crack at those spearmen. Oh no, the ballista's moved up. Ah! Oh, that's a misplay. I guess I gave it an attack order and they were further back. Oh no. Oh, god damn it. Oh, oh, that's just them. They have been full cooked. Alright, now they can see more of the spearmen. As the general bodyguard wants to go head on into spears. Alright. So be it, you cranky bugger. Alright, let's swing around here. We'll wait for those spearmen to interlock, and we'll go on in. So far, the invasion of Spain is going well. We were already at war with the Portuguese when we pushed over the Pyrenees, so they knew we were coming, but we were actually surprised attacked by the Spanish. We were going to attack them in a moment of turns anyway. But oh, dude, look at that. Perfect RNG. But I was going to say, before that general kill popped up, we were only a matter of turns from attacking them anyway, but them attacking me always throws a spanner in the works. I always like fighting defensive wars if I can. Because offensive wars, particularly in Medieval 2, and you know, I think in most if you make the decision to build up, go on the border and offensively attack a faction, you're always favorited. On the defensive, it's always a lot harder. Okay, so only half the enemy force remains. Perfect. So now, with the general gone, the command structure is smooshed, smashed all up, and if we can isolate divide and conquer and pick apart those feudal knights and the chivalric ones as well. Like those heavies will be fine, but you gotta be quite careful and just precautious in attacking those units, because they can really fight to the bitter end. Like if you've got, in Medieval 2, 4 or 5 dismounted knights, and if you play them right, you maybe got one cavalry unit, one archer unit, you can nearly destroy a full stack, like seriously. Oh, I just misclicked there. Alright. Let's form up and deal with these reinforcements coming on in. Let's move something like that. Alright, so 42% have been wiped out. Not too shabby here. If we can win another glorious victory against the Spanish, it'll be fantastic. But here they come, the dismounted chivalric knights. I actually don't know the stat differential between them and the heavies. They're quite decent, you would imagine. But here we go. Pushing into Spain. We have the numbers and the strategy and the generals, but our armies, I'm just going to say, they're incredibly inferior to what we're coming up against. The cavalry and the skirmishers, perhaps not. Particularly with the additional stat bonuses and modifiers of those chevrons. But infantry, a little bit of a laughing stock. Those armies that don't have much mercenary spears or or British mercenaries, which we seem to have the most of at the moment. Coming from Scotland and Wales. We probably gave them more, well, regional autonomy after the destruction of the English. Okay, so I got some. Oh, gotta be careful here. Alright. I've got the Emperor to try and help things out, but I don't know how he's gonna do against those. We do outnumber them 100. Oh. Because although these chivalric knights on mounted horseback, they don't have a general unit attached to it, they're gonna nearly fight as strong as one of those generals' bodyguard. Okay. So we've ticked up a little bit, but so have they with that charge. 56% they've lost. We've managed to knock out 10% of them, but that might be a little bit inflated percentage-wise. As, yeah, I still think from that first army there are some disengaging. But my cavalry has absolutely been melted in this fight, and instead of fighting their cavalry, it might be better off to swing around and get some hammer and anvil swinging on in, cycle charges in. Alright, come on lads, let's go. Oh, perfect. Frontal pin, skirmisher fire over the top, softening up. Beautiful, beautiful. And we can hopefully make our way down this line. Oh, look at this. The double-handed axemen from the Highlands are tearing up the Spanish on the field of battle. Perfect. Brilliant. Oh, that just shows you getting rid of that general early on. Vasco, you fucking idiot. Has really cost them the W here. And we're going to be able to take the heart of Spain. Not their capital, but their main military production powerhouse. Are they going to just charge on in against spears? Oh, they baited at the last minute. And they've routed. Alright, let's try and run down as many of them as we can. You got to give it to the Spanish. They're not being cowards, hiding behind their castle walls, which can be sometimes annoying. I always prefer land battles. This is the quick dynamic nature of them. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Land battles or sieges? I really don't see the hype about sieges, to be honest. I much prefer open field battles. Because they're different every single time. Sieges just get... Sometimes, like, just... I guess, like, moving and taking city streets and different angles in is okay, but it just turns into a grind in the end. Like, there's just way more macros on a land battle than there is in sieges. Or maybe it's just the sieges I play. They always go into an absolute meat grinder and you just literally sit there for bloody 10 minutes just waiting for the 2 units to bang it on out. Okay. We're going to be able to march up on Toledo as well. Let's sack that. And also, they're only like... nearly counterintuitive to play sometimes because you just lose so many bloody men because the arrow towers are bullshit on these earlier games. Maybe even in Attila as well. You just lose so many men. So it's like, they're not enjoyable. Personally. And you lose more men because of it. And they take longer. And they're kind of boring. Look. There are historically significant cities like the Siege of Constantinople and the Siege of Rome. You want to do them, but do you really want to do the Siege of Toledo, like, you know what I mean? Pamplona? Like, meh, in my opinion. But anyway, we're going to wrap things up. Yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm curious. Maybe I should make a poll or something. Do you like land battles or sieges for these earlier Total Wars? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We've set ourselves up really decent in the Iberian Peninsula. We're going to be able to hopefully run westward, finish off the last of the Spanish and the Portuguese. Then we'll start a war with the Moors, I guess. Then from then, we'll launch into North Africa. And then we'll see where we're sort of looking. We could go into Egypt. We could eventually go into Denmark and Poland once our military forces get there, which is still slowly but surely moving up there. And we've got to deal with Anatolia as well. How far do we push eastward? But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for episode 8 coming out soon. I will be doing a lot more episodes of this series, so stay tuned for a fair few more. I do want to try and eventually go to the New World. We might even end it on that, with the Holy Roman Empire invading South, North, and Central America. Alright guys, got to play the outro now. Thank you. Unfortunately, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Check out my social media links in the description below if you want to stay connected with me. I also want to say thank you to this month's patrons and channel members: Victor K, Sebastian C, Jordan K, Caesar L, Brian S, Tao, Lion B, Kyle P, Tom C, and White P. My name has been Simpzy. Much love from Australia. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.